Epic Universe. You know it, you love it. It's the newest and greatest theme park and on a roll right now. It opened in May of this year and everyone just keeps raving about it. The ride collection lives up to the hype and is home to my two favorite attractions of all time. I'll be ranking the rides I experienced worst to best, and the reason I say I experienced and not just all the rides is because I missed out on both Fire Drill and Minecart Madness. But other than that, I've been on every ride at least once and a lot of them multiple times. Lastly, before I begin, let me know how you rank these rides down in the comments below and where you agree and disagree. With that being said, let's begin. Coming in at number 9, I have Yoshi's Adventures. This ride's by no means bad. Nothing in this park is. It's just a little boring. I know it's a people mover, but it's a little too slow, especially when you're just being forced to sit out there in the Florida sun. I've heard it's better at night, which I did not experience at Epic, but have at Universal Studios Japan, but I still don't think that would change where it ranks inside of this list. It is my least favorite either way. Also, it is a fun little gimmick with having to find the eggs. Definitely nothing special, but a very enjoyable ride. Okay, first hot take incoming already. I'm staying at Super Nintendo World for number 8, Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. I'll be honest, I didn't have the greatest experience on this because it was delayed for 40 minutes. Plus, all I could think about is that we were about to go ride Battle with the Ministry right after. But I mean, it is a really good ride. The sets are cool, some neat effects, but that AR is done so bad. It is super annoying, doesn't blend well at all, and just distracts you from these pretty darn impressive rooms you're going through. For like 3/4 of the ride, I just decided to take off the glasses, and it was so much better. So do actually make sure to at least do one ride without the glasses. I promise it hits way harder. At the end of the day, a really good ride, but not even close to some of the elites. For number 7, I put the world's best carousel, Constellation Carousel. This ride visually is insanely impressive. Plus, the music is awesome. It's like a space party in there, and I love it. Plus, it's a little more dynamic than your average carousel because you're not just facing one way, rotating on one disc in the same way the entire ride. You're also on a little disc at the same time that spins you around, making the ride a bit more interesting. That was probably really hard to understand, I'm sorry. But I mean, it's a carousel. It's never going to be some insane top 10 ride ever, but it's just so enjoyable and I always love it. At number 6, I have the second flat ride in the park, Dragon Racers Rally. Straight away, I have to point out, this is the only Skyfly I've experienced. I'm sure it would be lower if I had been on others, but since I haven't, this is where I decided to place it. I really enjoy being able to control your ride experience, and even if it's a little hard to flip, I got kinda close, so I'm fine with it. Plus, the weird accelerating sensation that happens every time you swing downwards is really fun. Lastly, you get really good views of Isle of Berk in Stardust Racers as the cherry on top. Here we go. Made it to the top 5, the big dogs of the park. At number 5, I put Curse of the Werewolf. This ride is getting so much hate, and I seriously don't understand it. Sure, the nets are a little ugly, but it's not that big of a deal. The ride experience itself is short, but punchy. Good launches, some mild floater, decent positives, and good whip. I love the swing launch section as well, especially flying through and seeing that massive werewolf that actually does look pretty darn scary, which was a nice surprise. Also, I mean, it's spinning. Like, how could you not enjoy a roller coaster when you're going from looking forward to backwards to the side, or maybe even diagonal? Such a fun, underrated, overhated ride, and I was pleasantly surprised by it. The top 4 are also my 4 favorite rides I've ever experienced. Some of the best of the best. And to start that off, I have Hiccups Wing Gliders. I'm gonna give my second hot take of the video. This ride is in fact better than Hagrid's. The animatronics are better. The onboard audio hits way harder. There's more character to it. And instead of being in the back away from the rest of the land, Hiccups is intertwined with all the pathways and buildings. The only slight nitpick is the restraints, but if you sit in a certain way, they won't bother you. So I was fine with the restraints every ride after I figured it out. This ride is also just pure fun. Actually, really solid forces throughout for a family coaster, but it does its job of putting a smile on your face and giving you a super enjoyable experience. I adore Hiccups, and I bet everyone else that gets to ride it will say the same. Plus, I got to ride it on the same train as my favorite YouTuber, which was so cool. The big three are really where you're going to see lots of different opinions. Some people say Stardust Racers for the thrills. Others say Monsters for the animatronics and atmosphere. And some people say Ministry for the scale and how unbelievably impressive it is. But after honestly not that much thought, I decided number 3 is Stardust Racers. This is one of my top 3 coasters of all time, no doubt. In fact, I'd say it's the best coaster in Florida. You know what? No, scratch that. The entire USA. The airtime is unmatched compared to almost any other coaster out there. The theming sure is below average for Universal, but above average for most coasters. Plus, you're literally dueling while going through the different world-class layouts. And just to make it even crazier, the Celestial Spin is my favorite element on any roller coaster I've ever experienced. That's mainly talking about the yellow side, by the way. The green side is just decent. Also, don't even get me started with these operations. They were consistently sending trains in under a minute and a half and running 3 trains on 2 sides. That's 6 trains at once with under a minute and a half operations. It is unbelievable and the best operations I have personally ever seen on a coaster. Everything about Stardust Racers is pure perfection. And don't even get me started on how much better it is than Velocicoaster. At number 2, we have my second favorite ride at Epic Universe, second favorite in Florida, and second favorite in the whole entire world. The silver medal goes to Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein Experiment. Oh my gosh. Where do I even start? The manor is unbelievable. The queue is incredible. The pre-shows are the best I've ever seen. The operations are the absolute best on any ride I've ever seen as well. And the ride experience is almost unmatched by any other ride on the planet. The animatronics are so fluid and detailed. They are truly a spectacle to see in real life. Especially this Dracula right here. It is just mind-blowing to me how convincing it is that he's actually floating. Plus, there's not one dud scene on the ride like I've heard some people say. The black curtain isn't even that big of a deal because you're still half in shock from how good the beginning of the ride is and how hard you just got flung to the side. Monsters Unchained deserves every last bit of hype it gets and more. But something even more mind-blowing than this ride is that it isn't even the best at Epic Universe. That title and the gold medal winner has to go to Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. This ride will blow anything you put at it out of the water. The best animatronic collection of any ride on the planet. The scale is unmatched. There's a little bit of thrill sprinkled in, and these screens are the best we've ever seen on a ride, especially the way they are used. From the second you go through the Metro Flu into the Ministry until you see Umbridge get sentenced to Azkaban, there's not one part of Battle at the Ministry that isn't pure perfection. Not one ride on the planet can compete. Not Rise of the Resistance, not Monsters Unchained, not Flight of Passage. When I say nothing, I mean it. If you know any better rides, I'd be surprised. And if Ministry is ever dethroned and isn't my favorite attraction of all time anymore, it would have to be some out-of-this-galaxy transcendent experience. But that still probably wouldn't top the one and only Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. So there you go, how I rank all the rides at Epic Universe I have personally experienced. Share your list down in the comments and let me know if I'm glazing Battle at the Ministry too hard. And if you haven't already, make sure to one day go to Universal's Epic Universe. It will not disappoint. Thanks for watching and see you next time on Express Thrills. Bye!